Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin.
Welcome back to South Bend, Indiana, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon at Stinson Rugby Field as we get set to watch the Notre Dame Fighting Irish take on the Hillsdale Chargers. I'm Claire DeMayo here with Marissa Panethier, and Marissa, the Notre Dame JV squad has been on an upward trajectory lately. They're coming in hot to today's match on a 4-game win streak.
Exactly, Claire. Since week 1, Notre Dame have outscored their opponents 122 points to 15. Because of their strong offense and defensive showing these last couple weeks, I'm really excited to see what they're bringing to the table today against Hillsdale. On their attack, they've had a really good effective use of their back line and ball security, as well as defensively, they've been able to get on that launch early as possible and stopping the offense as they're working, so I'm excited to see how that's going to look today.
And we are underway here at Stinson Rugby Field. Notre Dame taking possession first off the Hillsdale kickoff, and they take the ball into contact. Now they're passing it out, and the ball is dropped. It looks to be a knock-on against the Irish, setting up our first scrum of the match, this one to Hillsdale.
Notre Dame has some really strong scrums, so I'm excited to see that so early on. Just their ability to handle that defensively as well has also been a great asset to the team so far, so I'm excited to see this so early in the game.
And so we have our first scrum here early in the first opening minute of the game. And so the Irish defense are in space, ready for the attack. So they get set here. And unfortunately, the ref does not like what they're seeing, so they will look to redo the scrum now. But in general, I think the keys to this match will be on attack, just who can use the back line and get into space and really find the gaps in the defense. Ball security has been something that needed to be improved on in the last match, so we'll see how they adjust here as the scrum goes through, and it gets a little convoluted in the middle there. Looks like Hillsdale will be back 10 as the Irish will take this free kick now, and they're able to kick it into touch. But again, then defensively getting on that launch early as a line, not getting too congested in the middle and really spreading the field. I think that will be the key to this matchup.
The Irish have been really good in the past few games, getting offensive points on the board really quickly, so I'm excited to see how they're going to be using their line out here to kind of send it to that back line and see if they're able to send it out to that wing, they'll be able to have a good break. So very excited for what this game is going to bring.
And the Irish line out is caught by number 5, Jackson Graham, as it's passed out into the middle there. Getting into contact, not much gain right there from the Irish. And an early launch by Hillsdale, getting to the ball quick. And a clear off that ruck right there, but Hillsdale is able to get back possession. And so off they go on the attack. Brought into contact, tackle made by Tom Curran of the Irish.
Tom Curran is one to watch out for in these games. He's a high scorer. He's really good at moving that ball across the back line, so keep an eye out for him throughout this game today.
And a nice break right there by Hillsdale, taking it in to the 5, and looks like as if he can put it down. It is a try for Hillsdale. That's number 11, Benedict Kennedy, off to a fast start right there, and it is 5-0 to the Chargers. So once again, using that wing, getting out into space like we talked about, using that back line and cutting through the defense. Again, one of the defensive points that we're looking to improve on is not getting too congested in the middle, and right there Hillsdale was able to break the line on the wing.
Looks like we're waiting for that conversion kick for Hillsdale. In the meantime, Notre Dame just needs to set up on that defense, be ready for that launch call. Still early in the game, so we'll see how they'll respond offensively.
As they set up for that place kick, let's see if Notre Dame will have a chase on it. Doesn't look like they will. And the kick is successful, so it will be
the conversion is good.
7-0 to the Chargers. And the Chargers are set up to receive from the Irish kickoff, as they will reset at midfield. And so the Irish get set and kick it off. Gets to about the 22. They let it bounce, and it's kicked forward about just there. The Irish getting on that eventually.
Good defensive play on the Irish. It was very smart of them to use that kick to their advantage by catching when it bounced off. It's really important right now to use that offense while they're so close to their own try zone, just to make sure that they're able to get points on the board to match Hillsdale.
And so a penalty right there as the Chargers kind of got on there early and tried to take the ball away. So it's back 10 for Hillsdale, and Notre Dame will reset. It's taken by number 4, Justin Peacock of the Irish, going into contact. Let's see where they pass it out. Looks like they're passing it out to the left, and now getting the backs involved. This is number 10, Tom Curran, as he gets brought down. Scrum half, Owen Portelli tries to get the ball, but looks like they are called for not releasing. So and looks like, again, taken into contact, but it will be knocked on just about the 5. Another scrum developing right here. So once again, another knock on, setting up our second scrum of the half so far. This one will be set. This scrum is going to Hillsdale. And looks like they've collapsed in on themselves a bit, and so they will likely have to redo that one.
Yeah, it's always important when setting up those scrums just to make sure you're as stable as you possibly can be, just because it can be tough to have that direct force pushing against each other that entire time. So just making sure you're set properly will help prevent some of that stuff. But early in the game, we'll see how it goes.
So once again, Hillsdale will go for the scrum, but looks like again they're not binding quite correctly. So we will go in for another attempt at the scrum. Once again, Hillsdale placing the ball in. And that will be placed by their scrum half, Michael Weaver. He goes in. And again, the scrum brought down by the forwards. Looks to be like a little bit of confusion on the setup right there. They will go for it once again. So once again, the ball will be placed by Weaver. It's put in, both teams pushing, and looks like he was about to kick, but now knocked on in the try zone by Hillsdale.
Penalty to Hillsdale.
But there will be a penalty right there. So it's back 10 for the Irish, and Hillsdale looks to try and kick it into touch. Or they will go for the tap and go instead. Passing it out once again, trying to get into space. They get to about the 5.
Good defensive wrap by number 10, Tom Curran. It's really good to see them being so defensively aggressive in this game today. So hopefully they can keep up that momentum and use that conversion to their advantage.
Ball taken by Oscar Jarman of the Irish. And it is passed back out to number 5, Jackson Graham. The Irish on the 5, trying to push their way through to the try zone. Looks like a pick and go right there. They take it out once again. The Irish forwards just trying to ram it through. That's number 5 again, Jackson Graham, who's in for the try for the Irish. It is now 5-7. Hillsdale still up, but we have a conversion kick attempt coming. And it looked to be in good field position for that kick as they managed to place the ball down slightly to the right of the upright.
Smart offensive movement on the Irish, making sure to keep that those last final pushes into the try zone pretty close to the towards the center of the pitch, just because it'll be a lot easier for their kicker to be able to make that conversion after the try.
It looks like the kicker will be Alan Gordon, the fullback for the Irish. His first kick attempt of the game. And so once again, we saw the forwards trying to muscle it through as they got to the 5. That kick is through, and so now we have a tied match here at Stinson. It is 7-7, Notre Dame, Hillsdale. And so the Irish, off that try, are now set up to receive the Hillsdale kick as they look to set up once again. But again, on that last try, the forwards just using their physicality to muscle it right through the middle.
That was a really good offensive response to Hillsdale's previous try, so hopefully returning the kick from Hillsdale, the Irish will be able to use that once again to their advantage for another round of points.
And so Hillsdale ready to kick it off to the Irish once again. And that is a high chip kick and recovered by Hillsdale as they get it through, tackled there by Oscar Jarman of the Irish. And a good defensive counter ruck attempt However, they will be penalized for that. And so a little spin move right there by number 4, Sam Feely. But unfortunately, he just drops it, although they will call that back and play off the penalty right there. So a little bit of fast launching from the Irish defense. It's a good hit right there. Takes it into contact, and the ball will be cleared by their scrum half, Michael Weaver. And they use the back line again. Here's number 14, Ezra Phillips, trying to get in there. Makes a cut in to avoid getting out of bounds. And once again, the Hillsdale Chargers using that back line, trying to gain space. They will be brought down in the middle right there.
The Irish always have a really good defensive launch from the middle of the field, so Hillsdale, if they want to see any yardage gained within these next couple minutes, they're going to have to be able to move it out to the wings like you're seeing right now, but the Irish are doing a really good job adjusting to Hillsdale's offensive plans.
And that was Benedict Kennedy, that wing right there. He has 1 try on the day, made a cut inwards, and was finally brought down. Now Hillsdale is looking to capitalize again. That is number 7, Rob Brandow. And they pass it off once again, trying to break the line. Tackle there by Kyle Elliott for the Irish. And the ball is bobbled a little bit, and looks like it will be a penalty to
against the Irish.
the Hillsdale Chargers against the Irish. And so they will take it from the spot of the foul. Looks like they're going to set up their back line as they push back to get depth right there. And they take a tap and go on a little switch play, and it is offloaded once again. So a tackle right there by number 8. That is Kristen Bardsley. Once again, it is cleared. And using that power, running onto the ball offensively there for Hillsdale. Not releasing, though. And so it'll be a penalty.
Seems we might have a potential injury on the field.
It looks like Bardsley is taking a knee right now. And so, once again on that last drive, seeing a lot of action from the Hillsdale wings, trying to get into space and cutting up. Take a break from the action right now. But again, a lot of movement on both sides of the ball for both teams, really. It's been a pretty even match. We are tied here 7-7. And it looks like Bardsley will be walking off the field right there with the trainers. Glad to see that he's able to get back to his feet.
Yeah, sometimes when there's a rather aggressive hit, it can be difficult to recover after that. So it's good to see that he's up so quickly. And we'll see who's going to substitute for his position. But for now, what's going to be important is the Irish are going to have to recover from this loss of momentum and be able to have that launch fast onto Hillsdale's offense today.
Yes, Hillsdale making ground up today as the Irish kick it into touch. So they will gain position at about the 10. So we get set up here for another line out. This one will be thrown in by the Irish, Nick Reichert. And the Irish have made a substitution. It will be Nate Nash at number 15. He will play the 8-man. And it's caught by Amani Shifra, who breaks free and is finally brought down by multiple defenders. And it is cleared by the scrum half, Owen Portelli. And again, taken to the back line. That is Elliott who knocks it on. So there will be another scrum. to Hillsdale. And again, these little miscues here and there, something that we've seen this season, but it's really about who can capitalize off these mistakes and gain ground as the game progresses. How do you recover from those mistakes and play on to make sure that it's mitigated?
The Irish have been able to do a good job of capitalizing off of the offensive scrum mistakes from Hillsdale this game so far. Seeing that Hillsdale scrum collapse in that last scrum that we just saw, if the Irish, if they are redoing the scrum, we'll have to see them once again capitalize off of the lack of stability that is within the Hillsdale scrum today.
So the ref talks to both field captains for each team. We will probably see another scrum. Marissa, as a hooker yourself, can you evaluate what we're seeing in these scrums so far?
What I'm seeing so far is that I think that we're just adjusting a little bit to being in scrums today. It is really hard to stay up and stable when you're in there and you're pushing against another team. What's really important is that you both are giving an equal effort towards that scrum so that that scrum does not collapse. And what I'm seeing today is that there might be a little more force on the Irish side that is just going a little over what Hillsdale is doing as a scrum. They might be a tad bit higher, and that just isn't creating enough stability for that scrum to truly be in contact and competitive between both teams. So hopefully after the SIR talk to both field captains, there might be some adjustments made so we can see a good solid scrum between these two teams.
And so once again, both forward teams will reset that scrum as the ball is placed, but no pushing this time around. I guess that was the adjustment you were referring to.
Yeah, sometimes the refs will request that the scrum be non-contested just so that you can get that ball movement and sent into play once again.
And so the ball is taken into contact once again. Pretty high ruck right there, and the Irish are able to recover as they will take it out. This is number 5, Jackson Graham, taking it into contact. Being passed out now to the back line. Here's Pascal Epkarapa, the wing, getting to the ball. And once again, taking it out. That's Justin Peacock getting into the contact there. Elliott passes it off to number 15, Nate Nash, who cuts in and is finally brought down. Seeing a lot of shifty footwork right there by the forwards and backs alike, but unfortunately just knocked on by the Irish once again, setting up another scrum. And again, when you're pushing the tempo, these things are bound to happen. So it's just about how do you recover, and that right there is another key to this matchup, especially since it is pretty neck and neck right now in terms of the score. As we get into the later part of this half, with about 20 minutes to go, it is 7-7 here at Stinson Rugby Field.
Looks like we have another mostly uncontested scrum. I think that just might be the trend that we're seeing today. We'll probably see a lack of pushing. Looks like we have an Irish turnover.
And so the ball was dropped a few times right there in that last phase. First by Hillsdale and now by the Irish. Looks like it'll be out of bounds. And there will be, once again, another line out, this one to Hillsdale.
Defensive lineouts are a really good opportunity for the Irish to turn over the ball, so hopefully they'll be able to use that lack of offense because they're all crowded at that lineout. Maybe they'll use that to their advantage.
And a lot of commotion going on right there. The Irish look like they have come up with the possession once again, just inside the 22, and they will pass it out again Back on the attack for the Irish as the back line gets a hand on it. This is number 13, Patrick Murphy. He passes it out, is recovered by Nash. And once again, it'll be passed out into contact right there. And a high pass recovered by the Irish, number 21. That's Collie Erden. And intercepted by Hillsdale, unfortunately. Penalty right there. He was offsides. So it'll be taken by the Irish. Looks like they will perhaps play the ball from a little bit past the 22. They look to kick it into touch, and they are able to. And so they will set up inside the 22. Excellent field position for the Irish right there as they get closer and closer to the try line. It'll be an Irish line out. Once again, the ball being thrown in by Reichert.
I'm excited to see the Irish use more of that back line. We're seeing a lot of success with the gaining of yardage whenever they're sending it out to their wing. Hopefully they'll be able to send it out from this line out to maybe get the next try. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with their back line, as we've seen that they've been strong in previous games.
And a short throw into Jarman, who grabs hold of it and is wrestled down to the field. And he gets it out to number 4, Justin Peacock, who is brought down once again. Nash taking it in, trying to push towards the try line. They're inside the 5 now. And so a fast launch by the Hillsdale defense, but this will be taken by Curran, who gets in and dives for the Irish try. It is now 12-7 to Notre Dame.
I'm really enjoying seeing that play in the middle of the pitch that the Irish are doing in these last offensive stretches before the try. It's really helping set their kickers up for success in the conversion. So I'm really happy to see that their performance today with those last few offensive pushes into the try zone.
Absolutely. So this is Curran, another smart player, again finding the gap and just using his physicality, pushing through for the try, diving in. That is hard to stop right there. So the conversion will be taken by number 15, Alan Gordon. And he's able to put it right through.
Conversion is good.
So it is now 14-7 to the Irish. And the Irish are once again setting up to receive the kick from Hillsdale. But a nice push by the Irish right there to get those phases through.
The successful conversions from the Irish are really going to be what offensively sets them apart from other teams, just because being able to get those extra points wherever you can really helps make your offense be just that much stronger when facing a difficult defense or a difficult offense.
And so once again, the Irish take possession of the ball. This one brought into contact close to midfield, and not quite. It is taken out. This is Amani Shifra, the prop, getting the ball and going into contact right there. And the scrum half taking it back, and a nice break by number 5, Jackson Graham, as he charges close to the 10. It's Tom Curran passing it out to Elliott, who offloads it to number 8. That is Nash right there with the carry as he cuts in and then offloads it once again to the 15. And it's passed out and reset. This is number 4, Justin Peacock, getting in. And number 5 taking the ball, Jackson Graham, all the way to the try zone for another Irish try in these last few minutes right there. We've had a pair of Irish tries, so an excellent cut right there and breaking the defensive line. It is 19-7 here at Stinson Rugby Field. It has been all Irish since that Hillsview try.
I really think something that's benefiting the Irish today is their use of rucks throughout their offense. I'm seeing a lot of their players able to meet that tackle, or where their player who has possession of the ball falls when they're tackled. We already have offensive people waiting there for the ruck to just ensure that that ball's possession stays with the Irish, and that's why we're seeing so much forward momentum from them today.
And the conversion there successful for the Irish. It is now 21-7 to Notre Dame. And they've been good for the kicks all match. Once again, the Irish starting to break away here score-wise from Hillsdale. Finding those gaps and being able to exploit them. Really coming into use right there. Set up with good field position too. And again, using that space to get through as Hillsdale kicks it off. And a little bit of miscommunication right there. And it is taken by Hillsdale and offloaded. And looks like brought down. And the ruck is cleared by the Irish. Just taking it out of bounds by the Irish right there. It'll be a Hillsdale line out. This is number 10, Michael Hoggett, who will throw it in for the Chargers. So after a good defensive ruck by the Irish and trying to clear that to pick it up and go, just ran out of bounds right there, so Hillsdale able to recover, and it is popped to the back right there. And it is brought out. The ball bounces all the way back into their territory. And it is reset right around the 5. Hillsdale with nowhere to go just pops it right there, but it is knocked on. And so this will result in another scrum right in good territory for the Irish. And with the scrums not looking to be contested, this should be an easy hook for the Irish right here, putting them in excellent field position for the go-ahead try. We'll see if they're able to come away with it.
The Irish have been generally really strong in their scrums, so having this potentially be uncontested would be really beneficial for their offense today. And seeing how they're using the middle of the field, it has been a great offensive play for them.
And off the 8-man pick and go, he passes it off, and the Irish are brought down just about the try zone, but they dive in for another try. So this is the third one in these last 3 minutes for the Irish. It is now 26-7, and they're really starting to look strong in that rhythm. All the momentum swinging their way as they look for another kick conversion by number 15.
Yeah, it really seems as though the Irish have woken up and decided to kind of light this game up with all these tries that they're scoring today. And hopefully we have more successful conversions just to see them rack up those points so they feel a little more defensively safe when they are contesting Hillsdale's offense.
And so this will be Alan Gordon taking the kick for the Irish. And it looks to be good. So it is 28-7 here at Stinson. Just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. And it has been very much a Notre Dame dominated game so far. The Irish looking to receive once again as Hillsdale will come out to midfield and set up for the kick. And a long kick right there by Hillsdale, recovered by Imani Schiffer, number 1, who's brought down. and it will be taken out by their scrum half. Taken out to Nash, the 8-man, who goes into contact and is kicked. A very high kick by the scrum half, Portelli. And Hillsdale will come up with it, and they look to use that back line now to clear it into space. A one-handed grab right there and a missed tackle, and he offloads it to the wing, who's brought down by so another penalty right there
Penalty to the Irish.
for the Irish, who will kick it into touch. This is Nash on the kick. And looks like it'll be just out of bounds at around the 5. So it'll be an Irish line out right there at the 5.
Line out to the Irish.
Really solid kick from the Irish, being that close to their try-zone. Having it sent that close has really opened up a good opportunity for them to be able to use this once again to their advantage and potentially get another try.
Absolutely. And so with this field position, the Irish look to score another try. And it'll be thrown in by the hooker and taken by Nash, who offloads it back to Reichert, who goes down into contact. And the 8-man will take it again into the ground, and looks like he loses control right there. But unfortunately a penalty to Hillsdale for not releasing. And so it'll be back to the try line for Hillsdale, setting up a lot of space for the Irish. And they, looks like they will play it out to number 3, the prop Jarman, who takes it right into contact, and Nash passes it out to Pascal Eparaka, the wing, and that will be another Irish try.
I'm really impressed with how the forwards are moving the ball this game. Seeing so much movement between just the front row itself, with your more physical players has been a really, really great asset for the team this afternoon. And seeing how the forwards are interacting with the wings, like in the last try that we just saw, really shows how the team has improved in their communication and are able to use the forwards and backs in tandem for the best point outcome that they can get.
Absolutely. So once again, this one a little bit of a tougher angle of a kick for Gordon, as he sets it up quite to the left. And he will place the ball down for the conversion attempt. It is 33-7 right now, looking to make it 35.
That's showing us where this pointer is.
Yeah, so
I mean, this is the live shot.
yeah, that's what's being captured.
Right.
So
And this is going back.
this is the
And the conversion attempt is just shy, a little bit off to the left, but it is still 33-7 here at Stinson Rugby Field. And once again, the Irish will be set up to receive off the Hillsdale kick.
Yeah, those conversion kicks from that angle can be super tough, but it's been really impressive to just see how many successful conversions the Irish have had today.
And so a high kick right there by Hillsdale, taking it all the way, not quite to the 22, but is recovered by Nash, who takes it into the ground. So it'll be cleared by Portelli, flips it out to the backs, and an offload right there on the far side, cut in to avoid the out of bounds. And again, ooh, looks like a bit of an early launch. It'll be offsides for Hillsdale.
It appears that they're playing the advantage and they're just allowing the Irish to use the conversion from that chip from Hillsdale to their to just convert them to the offense instead of restarting the motion of play.
And a skip pass all the way out to the backs. That pass will be forward, although they were good, right idea
Forward
there,
pass
getting
by the Irish.
out to the wing, using the speed on the wings. Unfortunately, just a little bit forward there by Ekarapa. So it'll be a Hillsdale scrum.
Scrum to Hillsdale.
And Hillsdale, again, in good field position in Notre Dame territory, as they will place the ball in. And it'll be placed by their scrum half, Michael Weaver, who looks like the weak side was chosen for Hillsdale. An interesting choice right there. And skip pass out to the backs, out wide, and it'll be picked up into space. The Irish on it.
Yeah, good defensive recovery, shifting down that field to respond to the passing out to the wings that we saw from Hillsdale.
And so the Irish recover, and it's flipped back out to the backs after a missed tackle right there. Number 4, Justin Peacock, taken to contact. And once again, a
penalty
high
to the
tackle
Irish.
right there against Hillsdale. And so the Irish will look to advance the ball on this free play. And it is kicked and bouncing all the way into their own territory. Picked up by Hillsdale, but looks like brought down by the Irish. And so once again taken and flipped out. And a little bit of speed right there, breaking tackles, but dropped. And so the advantage will be played to the Irish. It's recovered by John Murphy.
The Irish are doing a really good job of using the errors on Hillsdale to their advantage today, and that will be a try for the Irish once again.
Off that kick right there by Portelli, just recovered by the Irish into the try zone for that try. It'll be 38-7 here at Stinson. An excellent decision right there to kick and go for the space, especially in that deep try zone here at Stinson. Once again, the Irish, with less than a minute to go, set up for another conversion attempt. Gordon placing the ball, ready for the attempt. Again, another far angle for Gordon. Let's see how he does. The kick is up, and it looks to be just short. So it'll remain 38-7 here at Stinson.
And it appears we might just be going straight to halftime.
All right, so as the clock winds down here, it'll be halftime at Stinson Rugby Field. It is 38-7, Notre Dame coming away with it in the first half. We have a whole nother half coming up, so stay with us and we will be back in a few.
Soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching. Your program will begin soon. Thank you for watching.
We are here getting set for the second half of this game. The Irish are up 38-7 on Hillsdale. Marissa, why don't you take us through what we just saw in the first half?
Yes, a very high-scoring first half for the Irish. A very aggressive offensive approach. We've seen this past half for the Irish. Good defensive launches, great effort sending those balls out to the back line, to the wings. But we're also seeing a lot of good forward movements and plays for those tries that we saw. So hopefully we'll be able to keep up this momentum. I'm excited to see what the new upcoming plays will be for the Irish.
And we have our first scrum of this half right now. Little bit of issues off the scrum lately in this game with the scrums being uncontested. So off this knock-on right here by Hillsdale, it'll be an Irish scrum. The ball placed by Portelli, the scrum half, and it'll be taken by the 8-man and passed out to number 18, Ambrose Inman.
Once again, seeing that Irish movement out into the back line with an attempt to send it to the wings. It's worked for them in the past. Excited to see what they'll be doing with that this half.
And again, the ball knocked on by the Irish.
From the Hillsdale.
And so after that advantage being played out, it will be brought back for another scrum off another knock.
Yeah, the Irish are playing into that momentum we saw in the first half. They might just need to have to sit into their plays a little bit longer just to calm down and be able to get those passes set steady and gain some yardage from them.
The ball being placed in by Weaver, the scrum half, who is takes the ball out and flips it to the backs. A little cut in right there. And is finally brought down by multiple Irish. And it is taken once again into contact by Hillsdale, not making a lot of progress up. The Irish are called for another penalty for not releasing. But Hillsdale trying to gain position and yardage really quick. Unfortunately being brought back down for not setting up quite yet as properly. And off the tap and go, Hillsdale will pass it out into space. Is being offloaded right then again. A lot of pop little passes right there, but takes it out once again. And it is brought down at about the 22. And
conversion for the Irish.
And off that, the Irish use the space. Number 22, Nick, and is brought down. And the Irish taking the forwards once again, powering through for the try. That is number 5, Jackson Graham on that try for the Irish. And so they will go up once again. It'll be 43-7.
Notre Dame try by Jackson Graham.
Once again, a really nice setup on that try for that conversion kick that we're about to see. Keeping those angles nice and close to the post will help get those conversion points in for the Irish.
And a drop kick this time for the Irish. That one
Conversion is good.
is going through. So far we've seen place kicks for the conversion. This was our first drop kick attempt. It is now 45-7 Notre Dame. The Irish will once again set up to receive. Hillsdale taking their time off that reset, trying to collect themselves once again. Getting out to the middle right there to restart.
It seems that the Irish defensively have been able to identify the holes in Hillsdale's offense and are using that to their advantage, and that's where the majority of their tries are coming from, on-field advantages instead of true stop of gameplay conversions. So hopefully they can keep that momentum going, and we'll see what they'll do with their offense right now.
And so the Irish will take out the ball, and a little bit of a high pass finally recovered and brought down at the 22. Will be passed out again by Portelli, who gets it out into space and trying to muscle down into the ground. And once again taken by Nash to the ground and using that space on the wings there. This is good attempt by the Irish, staying in bounds to avoid the change in possession, and is flipped out to the backs. And there's a lot of convolution there as the Irish get away with it, and a missed opportunity right there. The Irish are able to recover. They're being brought down once again, and looks like it'll be kicked, but the kick is blocked by the Irish, and that will be a drop kick right there in the try zone by the Irish. A good recovery off that blocked kick, avoiding the try by Hillsdale. Excuse me, a scrum will be set up at the 5. So a good defensive play by the Irish, avoiding that try for Hillsdale.
The Irish are going to need their defensive momentum to keep this ball from being sent into the try zone by Hillsdale. What they're going to need to do now is focus outside of the scrum to see where that ball is going to be sent, just because of how close it is to the try zone. It'll be important for them to be able to read Hillsdale's offense quickly to ensure that there's no points being put on the board.
So once again, the ball will be placed by scrum half Weaver, and will be taken out into space and popped to the wing. This is Benedict Kennedy, who takes it into contact. He has 1 try on the day, Hillsdale's only try. And looks like it's being brought back to the 5, and the ball's loose again, recovered by Hillsdale as they take it up and in. And looks like it will be out of bounds right there, setting up a line out at the 5. So an Irish line out will be thrown in by Danny Mendler, number 20. And so deep into their own territory, Notre Dame will have to try and figure out a way to advance the ball and create some more breathing room for themselves. Of course, they have a nice cushion with the score being what it is. And that is batted down, taken in by Hillsdale for the try. And so now it is 45-12. So excellent move right there, getting the ball off the Notre Dame lineout and taking it in, diving for that try. It'll be a little bit of a tricky conversion, being all the way at that far side. But a good effort right there by Hillsdale, getting that back in.
What's going to be important for the Irish moving forward is just to settle down a little bit more into their defensive plays. Looking at the offense of Hillsdale, it seems that they're trying to rely a little more on their wings, just running that ball, cutting into the holes of the Irish defense, so for them to be able to identify the places where Hillsdale's offense might have slightly more issues will help the Irish benefit. and potentially get to score again.
And so that kick was unfortunately for Hillsdale unsuccessful. So the score remains 45-12. And the Irish will kick off for the first time in a while. And Hillsdale set up to receive now off that score. And that kick will be taken away from Hillsdale by the Irish. Number 5, Jackson Graham, who's still on his feet and powers his way through to the try zone for another try right off that kick.
What
Jackson
an explosive
Graham.
play.
5, Jackson Graham.
Fantastic play by Jackson Graham. Just so much energy went into all of that offensive effort on his part. Going straight from that kick, being able to receive and then just go forward into Hillsdale's, having to adjust their offense to a defense. He really was able to read the field, and obviously it paid off.
Absolutely, getting there early, chasing that kick, well positioned by the Irish, and a good response right there off that Hillsdale try. And so that conversion is successful.
Number 8, Nate Nash.
Nate Nash taking that kick. And so the Irish are up once again. It is now 52-12 to the Irish. And so we have in the second half a pair of tries by either team.
It's always nice to see the game of play when there's a high-scoring game involved, just because you can see truly how an offense or defense can excel on the pitch. Having Notre Dame return those tries in response to Hillsdale just shows how aggressive their offense can be when against another team.
And a nice long kick by Hillsdale. Notre Dame getting the ball deep in their own territory, bringing it out. And it is kicked again. That'll be number 15, Eli Redding, on the recovery. He pitches it back out to number 19, David Ard. And the Irish will be called for not releasing on that play right there. So Hillsdale flips it out again into space. By their 8-man, stiff arms a man and is still going, but unfortunately just loses it right there. And it is recovered by Hillsdale. They'll play that advantage out, but looks to be a knock-on. And so we will have another scrum. This scrum going to Hillsdale off that Irish knock-on. So good effort right there by Hillsdale, getting into space and driving them back into Notre Dame territory. The back line set up deep to receive that off the scrum. And is taken on the weak side right there by number 11. It's Kennedy up to the 5. And scrum half trying to get that ball out. The Irish a little offsides there. And it'll be knocked again, this time by Hillsdale. Irish scrum now.
What's going to be important here is the Irish sending that ball as far as it can go outside of the 22, just because they don't want Hillsdale being able to use this scrum to their advantage in any way, just because of how close they are to their try zone.
Absolutely, creating that breathing room will be successful, but it will be an 8-man pick and go. Hillsdale getting low on that tackle and is finally brought down. That was Nash, the 8-man on that run, but Hillsdale will be called for not rolling away. So it's a penalty against Hillsdale. The Irish will take possession and try and kick it out. And they will kick it just in bounds as Hillsdale pitches it out once again, keeps the ball in play, breaking through some of the Irish defense right there. And looks like very much a low pass. They finally got it out and is brought down by the Irish defense. Multiple people in that ruck. And the ball looks to be knocked on again by Hillsdale. So there will be another Irish scrum just about midfield, in between halfway and the 10. And so the ball will be placed by Portelli and is passed out to the back line. And it is knocked once again by the Irish. So it'll be a Hillsdale scrum as a result. A lot of knock-ons in these last few minutes.
Yeah, as we see the game progress, oftentimes you'll see slightly fewer completed passes, just because as the game progresses, it does get a little more difficult to spread that field and run it as quickly as they were in the beginning. Hopefully, both teams will settle down a little bit and make sure those passes are completed and clean before moving on, just so that they can avoid losing possession due to a scrum.
So Hillsdale kicks it out, and it bounces all the way deep into Irish territory and is missed and picked up by Hillsdale and put down for another try. Excellent job right there by Hillsdale, getting the ball out into space off that kick. Notre Dame couldn't quite come up with the recovery, and as a result, Hillsdale just taking it in for the try. Once again, capitalizing off those miscues, another key point we emphasized earlier in the match.
Yeah, it's going to be really important defensively for the Irish to respond to those free kicks just being sent so far back into their territory. Moving forward in the game, making sure that they have defensive players ready, they're settled into their positions just so that they can respond to that ball being sent into their possession will be very important.
Absolutely, and so this kick will be taken by Judah Newsom.
Because of a missed kick on that drop kick, it appears that conversion is not good and will just be sent back into play for the Irish from Hillsdale.
And so off that miscue, they will set up once again. And a long kick by the Irish, recovered by Hillsdale. And they will get set, and is passed out by Weaver. Taken back into contact, number 4, Sam. And going back in is number 1, who's breaking the line, that prop right there, Aiden Quirk. And again, passed out into space. Cut back in right there by Hillsdale as they charge up the field, but it looks like it was taken away by the Irish. A little dummy move right there. And it's taken down at the 10. Once again, just using that physicality, pushing up the field. A little bit of messiness in the ruck right there. And Hillsdale will be called for hands in the ruck, and Notre Dame pushing that pace over, not letting them get set. But unfortunately, knock on right there.
Good idea from the Irish. Good idea from the Irish to try and keep that ball's momentum going throughout that play. Sometimes it's just a little too late, but that's the right idea for them, is to keep that ball going, because when when they capitalize off their momentum, that's when we see the points racking up.
So this will be another scrum, this time to Hillsdale. And it'll be taken and flipped out on the weak side, taken out of bounds. The Irish forcing the wing out of bounds. It'll be an Irish line out right here, thrown in by Mendler.
There haven't been too many lineouts this game. Notre Dame's always able to have a good lift and a good catch, so hopefully sending this down the channel, the Irish are going to be able to use this lineout to their advantage and keep that offensive momentum we've seen going.
So this one will be passed back in, recovered by Reichert. It'll be flipped out to the wings. Sorry, not the wings, the back line. And covered, passed out to the number 12. And placed back in. Portelli passes it out into Nash, who tries to offload it before getting hit.
Solid Irish recovery from that fast launch of Hillsdale. Keeping that possession seems to be working really well for them, especially with those pop passes that we're seeing.
And it will be passed out again. And this time a missed catch right there twice by the Irish, and it is offloaded once again. This is Graham. We've seen score a few times already today. Showing off his speed as he's brought down and is taken out once again. Weaver passing it out to Nash, passing it out to Phillips. Phillips finally brought down. And once again taking it to Curran and using that back wing, trying to break the line. One more into space, but can't quite get a handle on it, and it is out. So it'll be Hillsdale line out just inside the 22.
If the Irish are able to defensively contest the lift from Hillsdale, they'll be able to use that to their advantage, being so close to their try-zone. Seeing some of the speed they have from both forwards and backs, if the Irish are able to have this possession, we might be seeing a try within the next couple minutes.
So the ball being thrown in by Hillsdale. And they successfully get that off. Now you trying to send it down that back line, who's pretty deep in the space. And trying to find the gaps and push right through. Once again passed out and is taken back into contact, being driven back by the Irish defense. And once again recovered, trying to use that space out on the wing. And a lot of short pitches going on as they try and send it down to the middle. And so the Irish will be penalized right there for not releasing. Back 10 for the Irish as Hillsdale looks to set up.
The Irish should be ready to respond to the kick likely, just because of how close the Irish are in Hillsdale territory to the try-zone. If Hillsdale doesn't kick, it seems that the Irish have a good launch prepared. But if they do, it's going to be important for them to have that offensive strategy set up to move forward and attack the defense once again.
So Hillsdale putting in a quick personnel change and pitches it out instead of going for the free kick. Once again being passed out to the other side, and there it is. Kick right there, stays in bounds, and now goes into touch, creating another line-out opportunity. And as they get set, this line out will go to the Irish. It'll be thrown in again by Reichert, the hooker. As Reichert gets set to throw, we are at the 15-minute mark here at Stinson, left in the game. And that's thrown out to Elliott, who is getting muscled down by the Hillsdale defense.
Good catch by the Irish in that line out. There was a good contest from Hillsdale in that particular line out that we just saw. So being able to use that core strength and keep the possession of the ball was a very smart move on the Irish.
And a good tackle right there by Hillsdale. The ball is tipped and then finally brought down. Hillsdale comes away with it, stiff arms a man, and finally brought into contact, but not before the offload into space. One more, and looks like Hillsdale is down for another try. It'll be 45-22.
Try for Hillsdale.
So once again, using that space and getting those offloads off before getting tackled to ground. Good work right there, pushing out and using that wing to break through the defense. Another tough conversion right there for Hillsdale coming up. This one on the far right side. And the kick is up, and it is pretty low. Will not get there, so it remains 45-22.
It appears that the Irish are quick to start off this defensive movement, keeping that momentum going, really stopping for nothing, and they will be playing to the advantage after that Hillsdale dropped pass.
So the Hillsdale knocked it on, the Irish playing that advantage, but looks like they will be called for offsides. So it is back 10 for Hillsdale. Interesting sneaky move by the Irish off that kickoff, trying to kick it off before anyone was set. They got lucky there with the dropped pass. And now they are forcing Hillsdale out of bounds. Number 5, Lewis Thune. So it'll be another Irish lineout.
The Irish have been able to use their lineouts to their advantage really well this afternoon. So keeping up with that momentum, using those kind of trick plays of starting that defensive effort earlier to their advantage, using this offensive play might be better.
Looks like the ball was tipped right there to the Irish. But they will do another scrum off that knock-on right there in the air. And so Weaver will once again put it in for Hillsdale. As he moves to the other side. Places the ball in, and it's hooked back without any contest from either side. Taking the weak side, spinning around trying to find a space to throw. Finally picked up by number 18, Wegner.
Seems to have been picked up by the Irish for a conversion. Hillsdale's offense just has to get there a second faster into those rucks, or the Irish, who has quite an aggressive defense today, will come in and just snatch that ball right up and then once again be on offense, attacking even more aggressively towards their try zone.
So the ball was poached by Notre Dame, getting that defensive ruck cleared. However, it'll be another line out as they were forced out. So Hillsdale will take possession of the ball and look to throw it in. Good recovery there by Hillsdale as they kick it back out. And the ball looks to be knocked again by Hillsdale. So once again, another scrum off the knock-on. This one will go to the Irish.
Because we aren't seeing any pushing in these scrums today, they're acting almost like as a bit of a freebie for the Irish. Just being able to send that ball to either their 8-man or their scrum half and just get that play and that momentum going. And so close to Hillsdale territory, if they keep that momentum going, they'll be able to use this offensive movement.
And a good pocket pass to change direction for the Irish. It looks like they just got rid of the ball right there. But Hillsdale will be called for not releasing, so penalty to the Irish. Nash with the ball, deciding whether to tap and go, and he does. Passes it out to Amani Shifara, who pushes the ball, but unfortunately recovered by Hillsdale. And Hillsdale looked to have rolled the wrong way, so the possession back to the Irish now. And the prop just stiff-arming a man. That's Jarman on the carry. And number 21, Collie Erden, another physical run. It's offloaded once again. And a lot of picking and going by the Irish forwards. This one by Elliott for another try. And so the score goes to 50-22 off that try by Kyle Elliott.
Try by Notre Dame, Kyle Elliott.
So this conversion, since that try was towards the middle, looked to be a little bit of an easier angle for Gordon. And it is through. So the conversion is successful. So it'll be 52-22 to the Irish. So once again, the Irish will set to receive off the Hillsdale kick.
Seems the Irish are picking up their momentum once again. Once they settle down a little bit offensively, you can see that there's a little more success with their attempts at getting those tries. Once they're able to kind of use their fundamental skills and kind of put them to the test, that's when we're seeing their greatest success.
And so the Hillsdale kick, very strong, bounces into the try zone. Notre Dame will tap that down for a kick, a drop 22 kick right there. And the drop kick goes up to halfway and is caught by Hillsdale, and they flip it out to number 6, Elijah Pangrazio, who makes a physical run right there and looks to go down at the 5. Notre Dame not rolling away on that tackle, so they will be penalized. So the ball in the possession of Hillsdale, number 4, Sam Thiel. And it looks like he will be tempted to be held up by Notre Dame, but he manages to get it out and places it down.
Yeah, a bit of ball wrestling between Hillsdale and Notre Dame. Just between them really wanting that offensive possession. They're going to continue kind of doing that similar ball wrestling between them, just so close to that the try zone for Hillsdale. The Irish really want to stop them from getting that try.
A little bit of advantage being played by Hillsdale off that offside. And they once again try and pass it out, but are brought down by the Irish defense. So the ball is cleared once again, this time going to number 12, Juna Newsome. And looks to be knocked. But they will be called back for an offsides. And so they will have another attempt trying to push in. Notre Dame's defense around the 5 has been strong.
Irish defense is spread out pretty nicely along their launch, making sure to close down those holes that the Chargers are trying to push through. As you can see, their defense is being able to shut down most of the offensive attempts from Hillsdale and even push them back for a loss of yardage.
And so is picked up right by number 5. That's Lewis Thune, who's driven back a bit. Once again, Notre Dame defense closing in the middle right there. And it looks to be recovered by the Irish. That's Kyle Elliott with the ball. So a good defensive stand by Notre Dame and turning the ball over. This is number 21, Collie Erden. And so Hillsdale will be called for diving over, so it's a penalty to the Irish. Clock winding down to under 3 minutes now as Notre Dame kicks that one into touch. Will be close to the midway line, setting up another Irish line out.
With only about 2.5 minutes left in the game, if the Irish are able to hold on to this possession, they'll be able to be in a very comfortable position to finish this game out for an Irish win. All they need to do at this point is hold it down, settle into their passes, and be able to keep that possession for the remainder of the game.
So this will be thrown in by Reichert once again. And short pass to Schifferah, takes it into contact. Making sure Hillsdale's onside and looks to be knocked and back in the possession of Hillsdale on that far side. Pick and go right there. The forwards passing it out, trying to create some space, but Kyle Elliott there on the tackle, trying to poach the ball and trying to clear that ruck right now. Looks like he won't be able to get there, and Hillsdale will pass it out once again. And looks like the ball will be recovered by Notre Dame. That's Mendler, number 20. And he looks to just stay in bounds, and they're able to get it out again. So Jarman right there, physical run right into the defender. And it's passed out once again, number 21, Kali Erden. And he is brought down. Once again, Notre Dame skip pass, a little high, recovered by number 19, Harry Cowley. And unfortunately is just forward right there, so there'll be another Irish scrum.
It appears we have another injury on the field.
And I believe that will be game as the clock winds down here. Notre Dame will come away
Final
with this
score,
win.
Irish 52,
52 to
Hillsdale
22, Notre Dame coming
Thanks
out
to both
on
teams
top.
that
They
came out today
extend their
and
win streak to 5.
Once again with a high point differential. Notre Dame's offense is once again able to work super well, keeping those forwards and backs working together to get all the points that they can.
Well, that wraps it up from Stinson Rugby Field. Thank you for joining us on this Notre Dame live stream. We will be back soon with more rugby in the next few weeks. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. I'm Claire DeMayo. This is Marissa Panethier, and have a good rest of your day.